and welcome to Round Robin. I'm your host, Robin McCormick, with the City of Hampton's Communications and Marketing Department. And today we're going to give some tips and an instructional roadmap for people who want to buy that first house. Maybe they're not quite ready emotionally or financially, or don't even know what's expected of them. My guest is Sid Alvarado. Welcome.
Thank you, Robin. It's a pleasure to be here again.
Now, Sid, you're with the Hampton Redevelopment and Housing Authority, and most people think of the authority as you run public housing.
Yes.
But that really isn't the full story. So let's start there and talk about some of the other programs you guys do have.
Yes, that's true, Robin. I'm actually from the Community Development Department, and within the Community Development Department, there's a couple of different programs. We have Homebuyer programs. We also have rehabilitation programs for people that are actually already own their home, but need to make some repairs and don't have the finances to make those repairs. We have some counseling as well as some education. A lot of people don't know that the Housing Authority is what is considered to be a HUD-approved housing counseling agency. And with that comes some responsibility of us providing education as well as counseling in the areas of finances as well as home ownership.
It's so helpful. And I know, when you look at a community, you can think, well, why does it matter if people own homes? But a lot of the statistics show that once you become a home buyer, you become more invested in your community. You get to know your neighbors, you volunteer, you vote, you are truly often more a part of the community because you're putting down those roots.
Yes, that's correct. And as well as that translate into education also, they found statistically that children that come from homes where the parents are homeowners actually do better in school as well.
Isn't that interesting?
Yes.
Wow, what an amazing correlation. I never would have known that.
Yes.
Okay, so what are some of the challenges that people face when they become a first-time home buyer? You guys run this club, and it starts with kind of an overview session.
Yes, we have a home buyer club coming up. We have an overview session coming up on Monday, March 31st from 6 to 7:30 p.m. for those who are interested. And the home buyer club is actually a 14-month club for people who find that they're not ready to purchase a home at this particular moment, whether it's some financial challenges or whether they just need more education. And the great thing that I love about the Homebuyer Club is that it actually accompanies individual counseling, and that is one of the requirements of the club. So for those that are interested and actually are able to enter into the club, we start off with education. It's 14 months of education. And then 3 times along that 14-month period, we have an individual counselor by the name of Jill Simmons, who's my colleague in the office. She's a housing counselor. And what she does with them during that 14-month period is she has times where she sits down with them and provide them the individual counseling that they need, whether they're facing a roadblock in their finances and they just need more information. She looks over their credit report and things of that nature to basically help to remove any of the obstacles that they're facing by the time the end of the club comes.
Holy cow, 14 months.
Yes, 14 months.
That's a big investment.
Yes, it is. It's a big commitment, but owning a home is actually one of the biggest commitments anyone is going to make financially. So if you know that you're not ready at this particular time, getting the education and the counseling that's needed, it actually shows statistically that it actually helps people to not foreclose on their properties later on. So it's a big commitment, but considering the fact that you're purchasing a home, I think that it's quite worth it.
That is, okay. That makes a lot of sense. And also you're seeing how committed people are. It's
Yes.
not a spur-of-the-moment decision that
Exactly.
you make to buy a home.
Yes. So there's some requirements. Everything will be explained at the overview session, the requirements that comes along with the club and the commitment that they are making. And then people at that time can make a decision as to whether or not they want to join the club. Sometimes people just comes out to get the information and they find that I'm not ready to join the club at this time, and they may join a future club.
So what does it take to join a club? Are there requirements? Is it a certain income level? Are there, you tell me.
At this particular club, it's not any income requirements or anything like that. They would need to come in, complete an application, and what they would need to do is produce some documents. Once they've produced those documents and I look over those documents, then I see at that time whether or not they are able to join the club. Sometimes people may not have all the documents available, which may prohibit them from joining the club at that particular time. But as I stated, we do have a club going on every time we finish one. we'll allow 1 or 2 months to pass before we start another one. So if they're not able to do it this time, then a future club may be a possibility for them.
So what kind of documents do they need to produce?
Financial documents. One of the things they're also going to do is sit down with Ms. Simmons and provide some documents that she requests, things like credit report. And once we look over that information, we see if homeownership is a possibility for them at that time.
So what are some of the things that people might need to do during this 14-month period to get themselves ready? What will you and your coworkers coach them on?
One of the things that they have to do is they have to commit to actually working on the things on their credit. That's one of the things that we check on in the individual counseling to see if they're meeting those goals. We actually sit down with them. We don't make their goals. We allow them to sit down and to actually state exactly what their goals are. And then once they have stated what those goals are, whether it is clearing up credit or other issues, then what we do is monitor throughout the program to see if they're actually meeting those goals.
So credit is probably one of the big hurdles. People who have
Yes.
bad credit reports because maybe they haven't repaid everything, or they are already in a lot of debt, or they just haven't paid things on time, things that go against their reliability on their credit scores.
Yes, credit and also just regular financial management. There are a lot of people that just don't understand basic financial management strategies. So what we do is we actually help them to understand their finances more clearly, so that way, even after the club is over, they're able to manage their finances better.
And that too would get toward, savings for the closing costs or the down payment. I mean, people maybe look at the purchase price of a home and forget about all the other things that you have to have, and the cost of insurance and closing and interest and all that.
Yes, and one of the things that we also address is after the home purchase, we want to make sure that they're able to handle those assets as well, because buying the house is just one of the goals. But after you purchase the house, your finances still need to stay in order. So we want to make sure that they understand those skills as well.
Well, I know, it's like when you purchase a car, but when you purchase a house, you think, "Whew, I'm done now." And
Yes.
then, you have to keep the furnace up, and you need a new roof every
Exactly.
25 years. And, there are a whole lot of things that go along with that huge investment.
Yes, and we actually have professionals to come in and talk on those different topics. Along with credit, we also have things such as post-purchase counseling, where we actually have a professional come in and talk about how to maintain the home after the home is purchased. So we have a realtor that comes in, as well as a lender. We have someone that comes in talk about credit. So there's a lot of different subjects that we teach on within that 14-month period. And we ourselves don't teach only, but we actually call professionals that are in that field to come in and to speak about those things.
That's helpful. Well, now, do you also work with, I know there are some special state and federal programs for people who are first-time home buyers, let's try to say it right, where they can get slightly discounted interest rates, or some VA programs, certainly with no down payment requirements. Do you educate people about those programs as well?
Yes, actually this club is a partnership with VHDA, which is the Virginia Housing Development Authority. So the curriculum was actually built by VHDA, and what we've agreed to do is sponsor the club and provide the education and pretty much execute it with the counseling. So yes, there is a VHDA partnership there, as well as once the club is over and a particular home buyer may see that they are ready to purchase a home, the Housing Authority actually has a down payment and closing cost assistance program where we provide up to $20,000 of down payment and closing cost assistance for homes in which we are selling.
Now, see, you should say that right at the beginning, because that's a big incentive for
Yes.
people to get through that 14-month program. Is there's a big prize at the end. There's some actual financial assistance. So tell me a little more about that.
Well, we do like to touch on that, but we just don't like to put that out that there's a guarantee that they're going to get that.
It's not a guarantee, right?
No, it does depend on whether or not they're able to purchase a home. They would need to go to a lender. Once they sit down with the lender and see that they're qualified, then if we have the homes available, we do provide that down payment and closing cost assistance. But that is only if they're purchasing a home which is being sold by us, Hampton Redevelopment and Housing Authority.
And that's an interesting sort of combination of two goals of your agency, and that is, to help people find and afford homes. But then the second part is a lot of the homes that you have available are because you've purchased blighted or rundown homes, maybe in neighborhoods that need a revitalization. So you've got the individual stabilization, but you've got the community and neighborhood stabilization too.
Yes, and the one thing I do like about Hampton Redevelopment and Housing Authority is that the homes that we sell are not just in one area, they're scattered throughout Hampton. So they're in some wonderful neighborhoods here in the city of Hampton. Some homes are new construction, and then some homes are homes that we just completely overhauled and make sure that they are like new, but we do provide that down payment and closing cost assistance, and we constantly keep those homes available on our website, which is hamptonrha.com. Those that are interested can go to that website and see the available homes that we have, and then we have some specific instructions on what they need to do if they decide that they want to pursue trying to write an offer on that home.
Okay, and those are interesting too, and I know actually you do a lot of work in the neighborhood right next to mine in Sussex, and you know, we've seen kind of a transformation of that neighborhood. Maybe it's not complete yet, but a lot more ownership and a lot more rehabbing of those homes.
Yes.
And then some programs that the city runs, I think probably in conjunction with you all, or with other resources to try to help existing homeowners rehabilitate and work on their curb appeal and really strengthen that neighborhood and raise the values in that neighborhood.
Yes, Sussex is actually a very unique area, is because not only do we provide the down payment and closing cost assistance for the homes which we're selling in that neighborhood, but we also have the rehab program, which I mentioned earlier, for those who are existing homeowners that may not be able to make repairs. We provide that program for them as well.
That's wonderful. Well, Sid, what have I forgotten to ask you about? What else do you want to tell us about this program?
It's a wonderful program. As I said, it's a personal roadmap for those that are not able to purchase at this time, but want more guidance and individual counseling. I love the education and the counseling aspect that goes along with the Homebuyer Club. So it's a great opportunity, and for those who are interested, I look forward to greeting them during that overview session on March 31st.
Okay, well, that sounds great. And if people want more information, what's your website?
HamptonRHA.com, as well as my direct number is 757-727-2689, where they can get more information.
Okay. Well, thank you, Sid. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching. I hope you've learned a little bit more about how to be educated about owning a home, about buying a home, and some additional resources, and also to help encourage more home buying, more people putting down roots in our community and strengthening those neighborhoods. Thank you for watching.